It may not look like it, but what you see here is a belt, or more specifically, a sash. And if you knew that before I told you, then you were a lot better off than I was my first day as a martial artist. You see, 5 years ago, my father enrolled me in the same kung fu school that he went to when he was around 15, the same time that I started. And with it, he gave me this belt, which used to belong to him. I remember my first day of classes, I asked the instructor what the belts were for. And he told me that the short answer was they hold up our pants. But the long answer is something that you have to find out for yourself. And over the 5 years of my schooling, find out I did. And the answer to my question was a lot more obvious than I had thought. You see, I found out that this belt and I have a lot in common because it marks the progress that I've made and how I've stayed the same in the past 5 years. You see, the basic elements of this belt are the black sash, which stay the same regardless of what rank you are. And the tassels of the belt on the end here represent your rank, and the color changes as you progress, and as you grow. And like the belt, or the black part in particular, many things about me have stayed the same, like my interest in hobbies, in sci-fi and movies pertaining to sci-fi and video games of all types. I've always been a geek in that sense of the word. However, some more visible traits about me, like the tassels on the belt, have changed. For example, the way I treat people, how I carry myself, and how I view many ideological values. You see, in Kung Fu, I learned a lot of patience, and I can remember the instructor telling us to run the same drill over and over and over again, the same form. And at first, I was annoyed, but then I realized just how much progress I was making each time. And I've applied this to many other aspects of my life, like my schooling and the tutoring I do at the school. You see, in Kung Fu, I also learned that everyone has something that they can teach you. And that has opened the door for me in more ways than one, because it reminded me in Kung Fu that every time I sparred with someone, that I should keep my mind open to what they have to offer. And I do the same when I'm speaking to others. Finally, this belt has something in particular in common with me in that it was made an old-fashioned way. You see, I was raised by my grandparents mostly when I started living with them regularly. Like this belt was made by the original individual who crafted the belts for the school. And it is the last one, to my knowledge, within the school who does this. And in conclusion, this belt and I do have a lot in common, but I'm sure my master and my grandparents would agree that I have a lot to learn. But I hope to continue to do so with an open mind, and that not only the things that change about me reflect this progress, but also what stays the same.